In this morning's Rebound Detroit, we're continuing our week-long series featuring women in the workplace.
And we're tackling a new topic every single day. On Monday, we talked about how the child care crisis is preventing some women from returning to the workforce.
And this morning, we're diving deeper into what employers can do to improve the workplace for women and mothers across Metro Detroit.
7 Action News reporter Jen Shantz is getting answers from the pros.
We went to one of the experts at Wayne State's Mike Ilitch School of Business, who also happens to know herself what it's like to be a working mom. She says companies have a lot to lose here or to gain based on the tone and culture they set as we return to work.
Right up until we had the pandemic, conversations about flexibility at work and remote work were still a no-no. So this pandemic has really it squashed that argument.
Dr. Bertie Greer is the Associate Dean of Strategic Planning at the Mike Ilitch School of Business. Something COVID should have taught employers, she says, is that flexibility isn't really a perk of the workplace. It's a necessity, at least for some things.
It becomes second place to see a child walk in the back of a video conference. It has become second place to hear interruptions.
During the summer of 2020, the McKinsey Global Institute found women's jobs were almost twice as vulnerable during the pandemic as men's jobs, with working mothers, women in senior management roles, and Black women being the most impacted.
I think as moms, we take a lot of pride in our work in general, and we're willing to get the work done. We just might need to have a little bit of flexibility on exactly when that work is happening.
That's Sadie Callegari. She's the director of coaching and training for the Perna team at Keller Williams in Novi.
I work 2 days a week with my son at home with me. Wednesdays and Fridays, I have him. And so I'm sort of watching him out of the corner of my eye and also doing my work.
Her advice for her staff and other working moms in the midst of juggling everything is to give yourself a bit of grace. Put in 100% while you're working.
And when you're home, do the same thing for your family. Put your phone to the side, right? Be 100% present.
That may mean blocking off your calendar on your off hours. And this might sound like the last thing an employer wants to hear, but this isn't just about morale. It's about profitability too, Dr. Greer says.
Turnover is expensive.
Data shows that inflexible work cultures have contributed to some women having to choose between caring for a loved one or family member or keeping their job.
There is this issue of not necessarily gender issue, is gender plus. We don't mind women, we just don't want them to have small children.
But companies have a financial incentive to stop that from happening. McKinsey Global also found that companies with gender diversity in their leadership teams were 25% more likely to be profitable.
We're going to have to work with our employees. Now we know we have more tools to use. Invite these tools into the workplace and figure out how to use them to retain your best and brightest.
Tomorrow, we're hearing from another local mom making the transition back into the office, how she's making it work as smoothly as possible, plus local resources for women struggling to make that jump. I'm Jen Shantz reporting in Detroit for 7 Action News.
Very informative there, and it's so true. Turnover is expensive, so if you can keep those working moms and bring them back into the workplace and maybe add that flexibility, that would be key.
And it's not just expensive, it's risky. If you have a good employee, keep the good employee because you don't know who you're going to get.
So true.